Big news coming out of Washington, actually, about the San Diego housing market. John Newton is joining us this morning to tell us how this news can benefit potential sellers and buyers and really everyone in the San Diego market. So thanks for coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
What is this news that we need to know about?
Well, the big news coming out of Washington has been the budget negotiations and in particular the huge tax hikes that we were going to see as a result of the fiscal cliff at the end of 2012. Kind of swept along in all of these negotiations was a provision that could potentially impact, especially underwater homeowners, tens of thousands of dollars when they would go to sell their home. Obviously in the San Diego housing market, an increasing problem is negative equity, people owing more on their property than it's actually worth. So if somebody were to decide to sell their home, let's say they owe $500,000, the home is now worth $3,000. If they were to short sell that property, the bank is essentially forgiving a portion of that debt. Now, the IRS actually looks at that forgiven debt as a taxable gain, as an actual capital gain. So homeowners could potentially be on the hook for tens of thousands of dollars. What this provision did was actually give relief. So they would pardon not only the mortgage part of it, but also the tax implications of that. So there was some good news and some bad news that came out of the negotiations at the end of 2012. Congress did in fact move to extend this, but they only did it for one more year.
Oh, wow.
So it's really important that when people are weighing their options that they have a window of opportunity really until the end of this year to contemplate going for a short sale and needing to get it done by the end of the year.
So what does happen when the mortgage forgiveness expires? People are kind of out of luck who can't afford their mortgage, right?
Exactly. At the end of 2012, everybody was really biting their nails on the edge of their seat because we didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
If they didn't extend it, then homeowners were going to be underwater and really would have very little recourse to sell their home through a short sale. So when they originally enacted the Mortgage Forgiveness Relief Act, they extended it for 5 years. This time they've only done it for 1. So after that, we really have no idea what the environment is going to be. So I'm advising all of my clients to take a hard look at their situation and decide if a short sale is a good idea for them. There's a lot of benefits there, especially when we're looking at a potential foreclosure or even a modification.
Well, what are you seeing in terms of loan modifications? Are you seeing a lot of those? I know we were talking before the segment, and those typically don't help people as much as people might think they would.
Right. Obviously, the first reaction people have when they're underwater or their payment maybe doubles is that they want to keep the home. Maybe they would like the payment to come down. So what they're asking when they go for a modification, and frankly what really is going to benefit them, is a principal write-down, which means that the bank comes back and says, all right, you owed us $500,000. We'll decide that now you're going to owe us $3,000 and you can continue going. The ugly truth is that that's something that I very rarely see happening generally. More commonly what I see happening is the bank, assuming they even decide to award a modification, is to play with the interest rate a little bit. They might bring it down a few percentage points for a fixed period of time, but a lot of times what I see happening is that that rate will go up and it will set later. And essentially folks find themselves in the same situation that they might have been now. In fact, I came across a modification a few days ago where they brought the rate down 1 percentage point, but ended up tacking on interest and a lot of other fees onto the back end, which actually brought the principal up. So the long term really wasn't a good solution for those folks.
Not always the way to go. Maybe a short sale is a better option. So what are some of the benefits of short sales in this year as opposed to previous years? You know, now is a good time to do that, and we want to emphasize this.
Absolutely. Right now in 2013, folks have a window of opportunity to take advantage of this forgiveness. That's really one of the big benefits. After a short sale, you wipe away the mortgage entirely. You know, once you sell the property, the bank is forgiving that. And under current legislation, the tax bill is also going to be wiped away. So folks can really come out on the other side clean and ready to start again. Also what we see is a reduced impact on their credit. Especially in comparison to foreclosure, I'm seeing a lot of clients come in and actually be able to qualify for the purchase of a new property in as little as 2 to 3 years. So there's light at the end of the tunnel. Another that folks might not be aware about is cash incentives. When somebody goes to short sale a property, we're always negotiating with the bank to get them any incentives that are out there to help ease the transition. We get them thousands of dollars to help with moving expenses, things of that nature. So
I want to talk about the stigma of short sales. That's kind of gone away a little bit, but there may be some people out there still holding on to it, you know, that it may be embarrassing. They don't want to go through the process. You know, with so many short sales out there right now, especially in San Diego, there's no reason to feel that way, especially because it's a smart financial move on their part.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of folks, it's when they're thinking about their homes and their finances, it's an emotional decision and it's always a tough one. But as we've gotten deeper into this market, people are realizing that they do have a lot of options that they might have been a little bit reserved about before. So short sales can be an excellent way of fixing up their finances and moving on. Anywhere between 30 to 50% of San Diego homeowners are actually underwater. They have negative equity of some kind. And today, most of the active listings are still equity, but roughly 30% are still short sales, and that number is increasing. In fact, we're seeing more people opt to go with a short sale rather than foreclosure. So we're seeing foreclosures decline, but short sales actually increase.
And to do a short sale, you certainly need someone on your side like John Newton at Ventures Real Estate. There's the information there on your screen. Certainly give him a call if you have any questions about short sales or if you are considering it. He is the man for the job. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
For more information, head to our website as well at SanDiego6.com, and you can just click